Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tessie and this is the sewing part for the maid top we cut earlier. If you've not watched the video, click on the link on the description box to do that. So as you can see, I've cut out my fabrics and I also cut out the lining on the front and also for the back, and I cut out two pieces for the upper side. So now I'll be working on the front parts. So what I'll be doing now is joining my lining and the main fabric together. So I placed my lining on my main fabric and I'll be sewing 1/2 inch on that seam line, after which I'll be turning it inside. So guys, after sewing, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I've ironed it properly. So what I'll be doing next is joining this part. But before joining this part, what you need to do is open it up just the way I did. You have one part for each and you'll be folding at that middle part. You go ahead to fold your fabric. After folding that part, you also fold the upper part just like this. You fold it because you'll be passing your rope inside it, so it needs to be folded. So I also do the same thing for the other parts. And after doing that, as you can see, I folded it and this is what it looks like. So now I have space for my rope to go in. So now I'll be placing it on my main fabric. So what you'll be doing is you go ahead to pleat till you get to the end of the cup. Go ahead to pleat till you get to the end of the cup. So after doing that, you do the same thing for the other part. You pleat it till you get to the end of the cup. And after pleating, this is what I have. As you can see, I've pleated for the two parts and this is what it looks like, and that is the back, as you can see. So now what we'll be doing next is attaching our rope to the front part of the fabric. So what I did was cut out 1.5 inches and I folded it in just like this, and I'll go ahead to sew. After sewing it up, this is what I have. So I'll be attaching the rope using my office pin. So I just placed it inside the allowance for the rope and I drawed it outside. Place it in and you just draw it outside. After doing that, at the end of that part, I'll go ahead to stitch on it so that the rope won't pull out. After doing that, I'll do the same thing for the other part, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, after attaching my rope, my gathers are showing already and we're almost done with our front part. So now what we'll be doing next is joining the back pattern. So now for my back pattern, what I will do is join my main fabric and the lining together. So you join the main fabric and the lining together. You join it on the sides, on the seam line and on the top parts. You do the same thing for the other parts. After joining it, this is what it looks like, and that line is my zip allowance where my zip will be. So what I'll be doing now is just stitching that zip part. You can go ahead to place your zip, but what I did was just stitch for now. So after stitching that zip allowance part, I opened it up and I ironed the zip allowance part. So now I'll be joining my front and my back pattern together. So you place it together. After doing that, I went ahead to pin them down using my pin. After doing that, you go ahead to shape your measurement. And when stitching, do not stitch at the top part because you'll be attaching your sleeve to it. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. So as you can see, I left space for the sleeve to fit in. So now after doing this, I went ahead to just open it up for you guys to see. So this is what it looks like before attaching the sleeve. And the next thing we'll be doing is cutting out our sleeves. So for my sleeve, I cut out 30 by 30 inches and I cut out two pieces. So I'll be folding the top and the down parts. After folding, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So now there is elastic on the sleeve, on the top, on the middle, and before the seam allowance. So what I did was just open it up, and from the starting point I chalked where I want my elastic to start from. So from that starting point I chalked out 14.5 inches. So I went ahead to rule a straight line on that 14.5 inches. So now we are putting elastic here, and we'll put at the down part. So from the seam allowance, I'll go up by 5 inches and I'll chalk a straight line on that 5 inches. So now I'll be placing my elastic on these lines. So what you need to do is just place your elastic on that line and you stretch it when sewing. So what you just need to do is stretch when sewing. Keep stretching the elastic. You do the same thing for the other parts and also do the same thing for the other sleeve. So after doing it, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So after doing this, now to get your sleeve armhole, what you need to do is fold your fabric into two just like this, and you place your main material on it. On that armhole line, place it on your sleeve just like this. After placing, you go ahead to trace the armhole curve. After tracing the curve, you go ahead to cut. So you do the same thing for the other sleeve, and after doing that you go ahead to attach your sleeve to the main fabric. So now what you need to do is just place your sleeve on your main fabric just like this, the front facing the front, and you go ahead to just stitch. You go ahead to stitch and you place the other part on it as well. You place it on it and you stitch. Make sure when you're stitching you leave a space where your elastic will pass through. So I'll go ahead to do that. After doing it, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So I'll be placing my elastic on the sleeve allowance. On the part I folded, I'll place my elastic on that part. After placing it in, I'm going to be stitching at the end of the elastic. You make sure the elastic is your size, so you go ahead to stitch at that end. You do the same process on the other hand. After doing that, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I've stitched my elastic on my sleeve, and on the other part this is what it is looking like. So guys, the last thing I'll be doing is attaching my zip on that zip allowance. If you've not attached your zip, you can go ahead to attach your zip, and after doing that I'll weave all the part that needs to be weaved, and that is it. Our top is ready. This is what it looks like. You can go ahead to style it any way you want to style yours. If you don't like it this way, you can style it the other way. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.